In my sincere opinion, the majority of legislators that we have, you understand, are not serious about what they are supposed to do. You see, if a lot of people look at, they know personally their representatives, for instance, and pictures are shown on the national TV, some people will not be able to spot even the person representing their area, because the constitution says out of 365 days, they are only entitled to sit for 181 days. That's the way it means. From the underlying conception of the constitution, they are supposed to be pattern. And that is why we are advocating that this idea of them having humongous allowance and perquisite of office, let's convert this into a part-time thing so that people with normal vocation, normal business will be those who will be in the National Assembly.
Well, this project and this budget for the National Assembly, he restricted himself to that. So one then wonders, what if we hear them come up, I mean, if he eventually goes to the anti-graft agencies, because he said he will get that. If they say, look, this is about constituency projects. We all usually have our inputs, but if one person imputed much more than the other, it's simply politics. Would that fly?
It wouldn't. As a matter of fact, the notion of constituency project to me is illegal. Don't forget so soon that in 1979, we operated the same constitution as the one that we are operating now. The politicians of second republic are not talking about constituency projects. And the danger in this constituency project is that once a particular member brings it into a particular community and it goes, there will be nobody to maintain it.
The other aspect of this is this. Assuming this gets to court,
yes,
and then you're supposed to have witnesses or accomplices, who's going to come up and say, well, yeah, I saw this? If all the committee members say, no, the former chairman was high-handed, we did not support him in what he was doing.
No, it depends on the particular charge that is taken to court. You understand? You see, you would, those other people who say we didn't support him will also be guilty of another offense in the manner of speaking, dereliction of duty, you understand, something like that. So whichever way, nobody will go scot-free if the appropriate charges are laid.
But wait, before we jump ahead of ourselves, what if at the end of the day,
yes,
they sort this out amongst themselves?
Yes.
Are we going to hear anything further?
No, that is why it is not to be sorted out among themselves.
No, these are politicians, don't forget.
No, that's what I'm saying. What appears prima facie as a crime has been disclosed from what we are hearing. I have told you that.
Who has the evidence?
No, you see, by the time they are invited, you see, the process of investigation, if it is thorough and sincere, will bring out facts. Let me tell you, I've told you that an attempt to commit an offense is an offense.
Yeah, but you sound accessory here.
No. You see,
to the offense.
No. Under Section 7 of the Criminal Code of Southern Nigeria, that I'm familiar with, we call some people participes criminis, parties to offenses. It's either you are an offense and an accessory before the fact, the actual committer of the offense, or an accessory after the fact. An accessory before the fact is anybody who
Mr.
joins in
Modi, what is the offense here?
The offense is an attempt to defraud the people of Nigeria.
Has it been established?
No, attempt is an attempt to commit an offense is also an offense. That's what I'm saying.
The letter P stood prominently in the year, not padding this time, but palliative, petrol pricing. So you talk about palliative and petrol pricing. First, it came in hushed tones about imminent petrol price increase following the removal of subsidies on petrol. Did it come? Yes, it did. The surprise was for the first time, Nigerians didn't kick much on this removal and subsequent increase. The debate took many weeks and discussions went on from the government and other experts.
We had this debate about palliatives. And I think the thing we do wrong sometimes is that when we initiate these policies, because we're trying so hard to sell what ordinarily would have been right, we begin to throw palliatives that most times governments don't even deliver on. And so much as we, what I've advised on this is, first of all, how did we come to the price of 145? It's a simple conversion of using foreign exchange at 285. That 285 is from nowhere. It's basically the secondary source that people buy products from, buy FX from, versus the 320, which is black market. If you convert it and throw it in, you get about 141, 142, or 143. And so there isn't much of palliative elements left there for you to use. It's simply go out, find your product, your cost is covered, there's an opportunity if you're efficient to make money, come and deliver. For NNPC, there obviously will be some earnings over and above, because NNPC could have sold less than this. Now, those monies will be available. Again, the government will decide whether they want to put into infrastructure. I think the first call will be infrastructure. Your refineries are not working, your depots are not working, your pipelines are a challenge. You know, but government has provided palliatives in the budget. There are lots of items in the 2016 budget that address palliatives irrespective of a linkage to the petrol pricing. In other words, it is not the lifting of petroleum pricing that should be the basis in which government provides a palliative. Government has a responsibility to provide social palliatives in an ordinary course of running the day-to-day administration of a government. And they're doing that. And if you look at 2016 budget, there are loads and loads of such palliatives. Now, this is still early days. So as we begin to look at whatever the differential earnings is for NNPC in terms of where they put it, infrastructure and the rest, versus payment to government. Now, let me also make one point here. Lots of state governments have been unable to pay salaries. In fact, the average state government is owing about 3 to 4 months of salaries because as income drops at the federal level, it impacts on state reception at FAC. If you look at, even for the 8 months that we've been there, and it was worse before we came in, on the average, for every month, we started with probably a 30% differential in the FAC allocations that came from us in terms of our earnings. In other words, if a state was supposed to, or if FAC was supposed to earn 100 million, we probably ended up paying only 70 for very many reasons: losses, subsidy, pipeline issues, trade losses, because all those had to be passed back. Over time, in the last 2 months, we've gotten it to about a 96% performance level, so we'll become much better at it. What this will do, for example, is that at least for the 5,000 barrels allocation, which we use for refine, you will have 100% payment to FAC, so that governors can get what is due them, at least in terms of that portion of the budget. So again, when we talk palliatives, the first palliative I think that is essential is that governors get their money in full so they can pay salaries. That's point one. Then two, obviously, is that a company like NNPC who wants to invest is going to get very competitive, and you see that NNPC probably will progressively get driven out of some chains of the business if they refuse to become as efficient as they should be, because it's open competition. Today, for example, if you take diesel, what is NNPC's foreplay in diesel? Barely less than 10%. It's been taken over by the entire private market, and it's only when our refineries work that we do AGO business. That's largely also due to the fact that we're putting so much energy in making sure PMS is available in the country. As we open up this, so this same stiff competition will come, and the individuals who get better at it in supplying products at cheaper rates will get the field of the day, and that is the whole essence of competition. So unless our infrastructures work, most of our infrastructures right now don't work. You saw us advertise the depots and the pipelines and refinery proposals of investment into those entities. Most of them don't work. It is taking a huge amount of work over the last 4 or 5 months to get our 3 refineries to produce for the first time collectively at the same time.
This special 2016 wrap-up on Sunrise Deal will continue right after now.